Hi, today we will learn about simplifying expressions with rational exponents. Our objective is to simplify expressions with rational exponents. Activity A, look at the expressions below. So first we have 6 raised to 1/3, x raised to 1/2, the product of a raised to 3/2, and a raised to 4/3. Next we have a raised to 1/4 over b raised to 2/3 quantity raised to the second power. So here are the questions. What can you observe about the exponents of the given expressions? You can observe that the exponents of the given expressions are all fractions. Next question. How do you think these exponents are defined? These exponents are what we call rational exponents. So the expressions above are expressions with rational exponents. Next, do you think you can still apply your understanding of the laws of exponents to simplifying the given examples? Okay, we will find out. The expressions in activity A are expressions with rational exponents. Laws of exponents may be used in simplifying expressions with rational exponents. Let m and n be rational numbers and a and b be real numbers. So let's have a review of this law of exponents. First, we have a raised to m times a raised to n is equal to a raised to m plus n. Next, we have a over b quantity raised to m is equal to a raised to m over b raised to m, where b is not equal to 0. Next, we have a raised to m quantity raised to the power of n is equal to a raised to m times n. Next, a raised to m over a raised to n is equal to a raised to m minus n if m is greater than n and a is not equal to 0. Next, ab quantity raised to the power of m is equal to a raised to m, b raised to m. And then last one, we have a raised to m over a raised to n is equal to 1 over a raised to n minus m. That is, if m is less than n and a is not equal to 0. Let's have an example. So here we have k raised to 2/3 times k raised to 4/3. So we have learned that we can apply the laws of exponents in order to simplify these expressions with rational exponents. So in this case, what law of exponent are we going to apply? For this example, we will apply this, since we are dealing with the same base. So it means that we have k raised to the power of 2/3 plus 4/3. 2/3 and 4/3 are similar fractions. In adding similar fractions, we simply add the numerators and then copy the denominator. So 2 plus 4 is equal to 6. Copy the denominator, so we have 6/3. Simplify. Therefore, we have k raised to 6 over 3 or 6/3 is equal to 2. Therefore, we have k raised to the second power. Another example, we have x raised to the 18th power quantity raised to 1/3. In the given laws of exponents, which are we going to apply? So in this case, we will apply this law. So we have x raised to 18 times, so we will multiply the exponent 18 to 1/3. So we have x raised to 18 times 1/3 is 18 over 3. And 18 over 3 is equal to 6. So we have x raised to the 6th power. Another example, we have m raised to the 16th power, n raised to the 8th power, quantity raised to 1/8. In this case, we will apply this law of exponent. So it means that we multiply the exponent of m to the exponent outside the parenthesis, which is 1/8. Same with the exponent of n, which is 8. We multiply it to 1/8. So we're going to have m raised to 16 times 1/8 is equal to 16 over 8. And then for n, we have 8 times 1/8, that will be 8 over 8. Let us simplify. So it becomes m raised to 16 over 8 is 2. And then n, 8 over 8 is 1. So in simplified form, we have m squared n. Another example, we have r raised to 2/3 over r raised to 1/2, quantity raised to the second power. In this case, we apply this law of exponent. So it means that we multiply the exponent of the numerator to 2 and the exponent of the denominator also to 2. So we're going to have r raised to 2/3 times 2 over r raised to 1/2 also times 2. It becomes r raised to 2/3 times 2 is equal to 4/3. And then for the denominator, we have 1/2 times 2, that is 2 over 2. This now becomes r raised to 4/3 over r, since 2 over 2 is equal to 1. Next, in order to simplify this, we will apply another law of exponent, and that is this one. A raised to m over a raised to n is equal to a raised to the difference of m and n. Since the exponent in the numerator is greater than the exponent in the denominator, and we are dealing with the same base, so it becomes r raised to 4/3 minus 1. It is the same as r raised to 4/3 minus 1 over 1. Let's apply butterfly method. 4 times 1 is 4 minus 1 times 3 is 3 over, multiply the denominators, 3 times 1 is 3. So we have r raised to 4 minus 3 is 1, and then copy the denominator, 3. So therefore we have r raised to 1/3. For our fifth example, we have x raised to 5 over 7 over x raised to 3 over 2. So the question here is, what law of exponent are we going to apply? So the law that we are going to apply is this one. Why? Because the exponent in the numerator is less than the exponent in the denominator. 5 over 7 is less than 3 over 2. Since 3 over 2 is an improper fraction, it is more than 1 or greater than 1. So applying the said law, it becomes 1 over x raised to the difference of the two exponents. The exponent of the denominator minus the exponent of the numerator. 1 over x raised to 3 over 2 minus 5 over 7. Let us apply butterfly method in subtracting. So we have 3 times 7, that is 21, minus 5 times 2, we have 10. Over, multiply the denominators, 2 times 7, 14. So it becomes 1 over x raised to 21 minus 10 is 11 over 14. This now is our final answer. 1 over x raised to 11 over 14. Let's try to answer this. Number 1, we have m raised to 2/3 times m raised to 3/4. So in order to answer this or simplify, we will apply this law of exponent. So since we are dealing with the same base, which is m, so we simply add their exponents. 2/3 plus 3/4. Applying butterfly method, 2 times 4 is 8, plus 3 times 3 is 9, over the product of the denominators, 3 times 4 is 12. Simplify, so we have m raised to 17 over 12. Next, we have k raised to 1/4 times k raised to 2/3. We are dealing again with the same base. So again, we will apply this law wherein we add the exponents of k. 1/4 plus 2/3. So again, applying the butterfly method, 1 times 3, 3, plus 2 times 4 is 8, over, multiply the denominators, 4 times 3 is 12. So we have k raised to 3 plus 8 is 11 over 12. So this is our final answer, k raised to 11 over 12. Let's have another one. A raised to 5 over 7 over a raised to 2/3. So which law are we going to apply? If you choose to use this law, you subtract the exponents of 5 over 7 minus 2 over 3. So we have 5 times 3, 15, minus 2 times 7, 14, over 7 times 3, 21. So that will become a raised to 15 minus 14 is 1 over 21. So for our final answer, we have a raised to 1 over 21. Let's have another one. Y raised to 2/3 over y raised to 1/2 quantity raised to the second power. So in this case, we apply this law of exponent. We multiply first the exponent 2/3 to 2, same with the exponent 1/2. We also multiply it also by 2. The exponent outside. So now we have y raised to 2/3 times 2 is 2 times 2, 4. Copy the denominator, 3 over y raised to 1/2 times 2 is 2 over 2 or simply 1. So we have y raised to 4/3 minus 1. This is equal to y raised to 4 times 1, 4 minus 1 times 3, 3 over 3. So we have y raised to 1/3. Let's have another example. R raised to the 12th power, S raised to the 9th power, quantity raised to 1/3. In this case, we will apply this law of exponent. So we have r raised to 12 multiply the exponent to the exponent outside. So times 1/3. And then s raised to 9, we also multiply 9 by 1/3. So we're going to have r raised to 12 over 3, s raised to 9 over 3. Simplify, we have r raised to 12 over 3 is 4, and then for s we have 9 over 3 is 3. So for our final answer, we have r raised to the 4th power, s raised to the 3rd power. So that is how we simplify expressions with rational exponents. Thank you very much.